Right now, try something. Reach over and tickle your own arm. Go ahead. Nothing happened, did it? No laughter, no flinch, no shiver down your spine. But hand that exact same motion to someone else, and your whole body reacts like it's under attack. The real answer for why that happens isn't about sensitivity. It's about something your brain has been quietly doing since before you could even talk. It's not about your skin. Your skin feels the same touch either way. The nerve endings fire. The pressure is identical. So if the sensation is the same, why does only one version make you laugh? The answer lives inside a part of your brain you've probably never heard of, tucked away in a fold of tissue called the cerebellum. You've been taught to think of your brain as one thing reacting to the world. But really, it's running two jobs at once. One job is sensing what's happening to you. The other job is predicting what's about to happen before it even occurs. And tickling sits right at the seam between those two jobs. Here's the strange part. Your cerebellum isn't just along for the ride when you move. It's constantly drafting a forecast. Before your hand even reaches your arm, your brain has already simulated the exact sensation that's coming. It knows the timing. It knows the pressure. It knows the path your fingers will travel. So by the time your fingers actually land, there's no surprise left to react to. Your brain already lived through it in advance. This idea has a name in neuroscience. Researchers call it efference copy. And one of the scientists most responsible for mapping it out was Sarah Jane Blakemore, working out of University College London in the late 1990s. Blakemore wanted to understand exactly why self-generated touch felt so different from touch delivered by someone else. So she built something almost comically simple, a robotic arm controlled by the participants' own hand movements that could tickle their palm with a slight delay. What she found reshaped how scientists thought about sensation itself. When the robotic arm moved in perfect sync with the person's own hand, the tickle barely registered. But the moment Blakemore introduced even a small delay, somewhere around 200 milliseconds, the tickle suddenly felt far more intense, almost as ticklish as if a stranger had done it. Why would a fraction of a second matter so much? Because that delay was enough to break the prediction. Your brain had already forecast the sensation matching your own movement exactly. Add a gap, and the forecast no longer lines up with reality. Suddenly, your brain treats the touch as unexpected, as something it didn't see coming. And unexpected touch is exactly what tickling depends on. This isn't just a quirky brain glitch either. It's a survival mechanism with a job to do. Think about what tickling actually represents biologically. A touch on the back of your neck, a poke under your arm, a graze along your ribs. These are some of the most evolutionarily sensitive areas on your body, regions historically vulnerable to insects, parasites, and predators that crawl rather than charge. Your brain needs to react instantly and intensely to unexpected contact in those zones. Speed matters more than accuracy here. So your nervous system is built to interpret unpredictable touch on vulnerable skin as an urgent signal worth flinching, twitching, or laughing in response to, even when the threat turns out to be your little brother's finger. But if your own hand caused the exact same sensation, your brain has nothing urgent to flag. It already knew what was coming. There's no predator, no insect, no surprise, just you, doing something to yourself, exactly as your brain predicted you would. So what happens when this prediction system breaks down? This is where the story gets stranger, and where researchers like Christine Ecker and others studying neurodevelopmental conditions have made an unexpected discovery. Some studies have found that certain individuals with schizophrenia can, in fact, tickle themselves. Their self-generated touch sometimes produces a ticklish response nearly as strong as touch from someone else. At first, that sounds like a strange detail buried in a research paper, but it points to something much bigger. In some forms of schizophrenia, the brain's efference copy system, the very prediction system Blakemore mapped out, doesn't always cancel out self-generated sensations the way it should. The internal forecast and the internal reality stop lining up cleanly. That single observation tells you that tickling isn't really about your skin at all. It's a live readout of how well your brain's predictions are syncing with your actions in real time. You've spent every day of your life inside a constant feedback loop you never noticed. Every step you take, every word you speak, every reach of your hand, your brain forecasts it first, then checks the result against that forecast almost instantly. When the forecast matches reality, the experience fades into the background. Quiet, unremarkable. That's why you don't feel surprised every time you successfully pick up a coffee cup. Your brain already knew your hand would land there, but the instant prediction and reality diverge, even slightly, your brain snaps to attention. This single mechanism explains far more than tickling. It's part of why you can't fully startle yourself by jumping out from behind your own door. It's part of why a delayed echo of your own voice on a phone call feels oddly disorienting. It's even part of why certain virtual reality experiences, ones with a slight lag between your hand movement and what you see on screen, can leave you feeling nauseous or unsettled within seconds. Your brain isn't reacting to the world exactly as it is. It's reacting to the gap between what it expected and what actually happened. Which brings the story back to your arm, sitting there right now, completely unbothered by your own touch. That immunity isn't a failure of sensitivity. It's proof that an extraordinarily fast prediction system, refined over millions of years, is working exactly as designed every second without you ever noticing the math being done. The same mind that keeps you safe from real surprises is the very reason fake ones can't get through. So maybe the real question was never why you can't tickle yourself. Maybe the real question is how many other surprises your brain has been quietly canceling out long before you ever knew they were coming.